Michael, and today is the 12th day of my 100 Days of Making Comics challenge. So yesterday I was talking about how I was getting sick, and I was hoping that it wouldn't end up turning into anything, but it totally did. I'm pretty sick right now. Still went to work and all my classes, but I was pretty dead after that. I was planning on doing my writing and everything as soon as I got home, and I had other work to do. I'm hoping that'll be better by the morning. I might take take some NyQuil or something. But anyway, moving on from my personal health issues, I did about maybe 45 to an hour of writing today. Some of that was spent just trying to focus on the screen without totally just blanking everything out, because my brain isn't quite where it should be right now. I read through what I had already written of the outline. I almost hesitate to call it an outline anymore because it's getting to be pretty detailed, and I'm thinking that I'm going to continue doing this thing that I was talking about yesterday, where I just flesh out the whole thing more rather than rewriting the whole outline. I went into near the end of the second scene, and I'm just completing the dialogue. I always knew what, vaguely needed to happen in this part, everything that the characters say specifically. It's an exchange between Jason and Addie, like the very first one. And I feel like it's going on too long, but yeah, I think it's better to overwrite than to underwrite, I suppose, because I can always cut things out, and that's not very hard. Right now I'm having problems with Addie being just frustratingly vague. Like, that's kind of her way, is that she's she's not very open about her motivations, but when she's just talking with Jason right now, and I feel like it's just taking her so long to get to the point that it's going to be frustrating, but that's honestly just kind of the way that she would do it, so I'm sort of stuck with that. I mean, I could change her character, but that would feel strange to me, because I don't want Jason to be frustrated, and he's getting pretty frustrated with how vague she is, and that's not really the idea, He needs to be interested enough to, to follow her little rabbit hole here, which in the end of this scene she actually doesn't end up convincing him totally, but she goes and approaches him later when he's in a worse state. I ended up working at the daycare this morning, and I felt really... So my daycare is like... the daycare that I work at it's the bottom floor of a residence hall, actually, at the college. And so there are people sleeping above us at the daycare. We open 7 o'clock every morning. Right away, children are going in there crying and stuff, especially those 2-year-olds with their... separated from their parents for the first time, and so I'm just sitting there holding these kids and trying to get them to stop crying, and I'm just thinking about the people above me who have to go to class, and they have to go to class at 7 or 10 or something, and they're just trying to get their 8 hours, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. But what am I gonna do? Shove a sock in their mouth or something? Sometimes you just gotta let them get it out, That's what I think, at least. I don't totally believe in just completely coddling kids so that they, never cry at all, because, there's that catharsis thing. And I don't go so far as to, just completely ignore children when they're crying, I guess, which, that's sort of more... I've known parents who do that, and it's not like I think that it's not like I totally disagree with them, but, it's just kind of not the way I work. I'm really a hands-on kind of guy when it comes to childcare. I like to be on the ground, be talking to kids. I'm always there reading stories and things like that. And I met 2 of my coworkers today. They were new, and so I ended up helping them out with the classroom and the children arriving, which was interesting. I had my first real art class today, which was very interesting. It's 2 hours, maybe 3 hours long. I think it is 3 hours long. We have these humongous sketch pads that we just set up, and we were doing blind silhouettes. I can't remember what they were called. I really appreciated it. I appreciated it a lot. I think this is going to be a really positive experience for me. Even just this one class was a positive experience, even though it's not the way I normally learn how to draw, because they're teaching classically. There's going to be figure drawing, and there's line exercises, which, those are all great things, but they're not something I normally am able to do when I'm just learning on my own, which I guess makes it even better of an experience. And I love the people in there. Most of them are a little younger than me, which is, it's okay. But they're all artsy folk, so it's kind of like when I'm working at the daycare, and I always like the people who work there because they're all kid people. Kid people tend to be good people. Before I just start hacking up a storm. I think I'm gonna, what's the word? I think I'm gonna cut this video off now. So, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys with an update tomorrow.